violence. Oh, I need my mic. Hello. I also need my tablet. I'll be right back.
Does a VPN make your computer look like it's originating elsewhere?
Yes.
Well, then we need to find a VPN. What are you snorting at me for?
Stream is on, by the way.
Oh. Well, give me your thumb.
Oh. Actually, forefinger might work. I forget if I registered it. Left thumb.
Yeah, I've got a couple of digits on mine. I just don't remember.
Hey, left forefinger
Hey.
worked. Ah, an APR noticed me.
We need to vacuum the floor. Shut up. Mark, your cat is so rude.
Hello.
Hello. I'm not Daniel. You can tell by the lack of mustache. And these right here. Which Daniel doesn't have.
He certainly does not.
No. And he doesn't have pale pink hair.
Alright. I'm still waiting on my tablet to finish starting up so I can watch the chat. Although if you're back there...
Well, yeah, but nothing is happening over here.
Hmm?
It's just the splash screen.
We'll give it a minute.
Okay, finally.
Yeah.
Saying welcome with the... But yeah, there wasn't an hourglass or an anything or a circle. It was just sitting there.
That's Remy. She's a twerp, but she is pretty.
She doesn't like females.
Frequently.
Mostly. She and I have lived in the same house for 7 years now, and she's beginning to get used to me. But she'll still hiss at me just because I get too close. Or just because. No good reason at all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had to take some more drugs, ibuprofen,
Yeah.
because that tooth after the dentist kind of poked around on it some. And they were very gentle, but
Yeah.
still, you know, kind of bless you. Kind
Thank
of
you.
the probing, and then, you know, they shove the big film things into your mouth, and you got to bite down on them.
Yeah, that's always uncomfortable.
Yeah. So.
Thank you. Alright, well, my chat monitor is almost up, so hello, Internet.
Hello, Internet.
It-
Hello, Nurse.
It is 2:11 p.m. on Monday, September 28th, 2020. I'm Mark Amsry, DJ Amstrack, and I'm holding court. That's
Chrome is not responding.
that's May, the producer,
Hello.
my mom. She's
That's why I am literally May the producer.
yes, she produced me.
I did. And when he first introduced me that way, this is May, she's my producer. I thought that was so clever, so hilarious of him, but he didn't actually mean it that way. At the time,
Yeah.
I was producing his radio show for him, and I said, "But don't you get it? I'm your producer." So.
Yep. Anyway, today I'm going to be continuing Shadowrun Dragonfall.
This is not what I said.
Well, wait for it. It takes a while.
No, I mean, I said Twitch, and I got Twitter.
Right. So, Shadowrun Dragonfall. Last time I kicked some racist ass. Racist ass. I can talk. Racist ass.
Confetti.
No. None of that.
Yes, because that British QAnon moron said that was intentional coded talk to the Q folk.
Oh yeah, the thing that I was going to share with you the other day, but you had bad timing.
Me or them?
You.
Oh, okay.
Let me find it again. A tweet thread from Lindsay Ellis. Yeah.
Even though multiple studies have shown that acetaminophen, Tylenol, it works is no more effective than a placebo for most types of pain. And yet, doctors and dentists tell us that's all that's necessary. They tell us we don't need anything more effective than a Tylenol. Which is telling us that, you know, the same thing is just think the pain away. Eat a jelly bean and tell yourself, this will take care of it. In 15 minutes, I won't feel it.
Okay, here we go. Do-do-do. Any discussion about the logic of QAnon is an exercise in futility, but one of the things that drives me insane is the idea of Q being so named because he has Q clearance. I say this because my cousin has Q clearance. Now, owing to the nature of any government clearance, I can't say I know much about Q clearance because it's really just another term for top secret, plus I think he probably lies about his job sometimes. But I do know the basics, and here's why it's so funny to me. See, Q clearance is restricted to one branch of government, the Department of Energy. The Department of Energy is almost entirely concerned with nuclear weapons, nuclear energy, nuclear stockpiles, nuclear waste, and maybe sometimes electricity, I guess. I used to joke that my cousin builds bombs, but it would be more accurate to say that he makes sure the already built bombs will still go off. So the vast majority of Q-cleared people, this is the sort of thing that they work on, and they don't work in DC or near the president. Like, yeah, some Q-cleared people work in DC, but most of them work in places like Y12, where the Manhattan Project was. So the idea that a Q-cleared person is the one guy with the inside intel on the international Satanist pedophile adrenochrome conspiracy is hilarious to me. I mean, I get it, it's good branding, and no one is going to check to see if, like, Q clearance is a CIA thing. It sounds like a CIA thing, right? Q was the name of James Bond's R&D guy. Q is the secret thing. I know looking for logic in QAnon is like looking for reason in a bag of feral cats, but there's just something funny to me that no one ever goes, why would a guy with Q clearance be the one to know all this? Shouldn't he be, like, inspecting nuclear reactors or something?
Oh, see, there's Q also.
And then,
I mean,
secondary...
That's a Q clue right there, because Q was always up to no good. You could never trust him. He was always trying to take down the Federation. So why would anybody listen to Q now? He's obviously...
Well, he wasn't trying to take down the Federation. He was always just, like, specifically messing with Picard. Or, in, like, Voyager messing with Janeway. JC Gyo says they use the adrenochrome harvested from babies to power the country and achieve energy independence. Duh. Okay, anyway, enough of that. That tangent there. Back to the Kreutz Bazaar.
Okay, I'm heading upstairs for right now, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and close this door.
Okay.
Yeah, did you see anything about, there were three, or there was two attempted and one actual, home invasion, a week ago on our side of town.
Huh.
So, they all said, the west side of Norman, the only intersection that they specified was Robinson and 48th.
So further out.
But not much.
Right.
Because that's the way, when that bridge washed out on Main, between here and Alpets, I started taking a ride on Robinson, going down to 48th, taking a left, and then you just swing back left and you're right there at Alpets. So, yeah, so it's not very far to the west at all. So, and you know, and Daniel talks about, you know, we've got nothing to worry about here in this neighborhood because it's a nice neighborhood and it's quiet. Well, those houses over there are, start at more than twice this house is worth. It's starting price. So, I don't think, he's, I guess, a bit naive as far as that goes. Because no place is immune from crime. But the first two places they tried, they didn't get in. Third place, an 81-year-old man. The door was unlocked, and this was at 6:30 in the morning, I think. They threatened him, took money and electronics, credit cards, and then they had video surveillance footage of them at Walmart. They were to a Walmart and more, and they got some pretty clear security footage of them going in there, three people. And all, probably not as old as you, old man. And then they also filled up their red Mustang. 7-Eleven. The old man's credit card.
She looks up from her comm, idly blowing a gum bubble and quickly popping it. Hello again. I hear you've been busy. Gossip travels fast, doesn't it? It's not gossip. It's work. Survival, really. Aren't there child labor laws around here? Cammy puffs up indignantly, and you realize how young she must really be. She couldn't be out of her teens yet. And what does that mean? Chill, I only meant that it can be a hard life for a kid. She grows quiet for a moment, briefly looking down at her shoes before looking you straight in the eye. Yeah, it can be, but it's better than some other lives. Alto gave me a good job, and I'm super grateful for it. Which reminds me, I should get back to it. See you later? She lazily tips an invisible hat at you before returning to the comm at her wrist. Okay, she doesn't have anything new to say. Hey, LG. I have a question for you, if you don't mind. You're in luck. I have a great many answers. Algernon, what do you know about the great dragon Feuerschwinge? The elf ponders for a moment, twisting a ring on his right hand. Feuerschwinge, the Fire Wing. That is a name that hasn't been heard in some time. Over 40 years, I believe, though I cannot say for certain. Time and I do not get along. She was among the first of the great dragons to awaken, and the first to be killed by meta-humanity. Or so the story goes. Looks like I asked the right person. You have insight? I do. Into a great many matters. A great dragon is not like other awakened creatures, whereas a basilisk is nothing more than a Komodo dragon whose genetic structure was mutated by magic's return. The great dragon is a creature of magic. A creature that has seen more than one cycle of the world. This is the 6th. When a great dragon falls, the sound resonates across time and space. So, got it. You're skeptical. So, how does the story go? Feuerschwinge awakened, along with Lofir, Nebelherr, and Kaltenstein, around the first decade of this century. She was first seen over the Harz Mountains, and after a long flight announcing her presence, she began raining fire on every town and village she came across. Why the attack? Think she was protecting her lair? No one knows. Feuerschwinge was never engaged in, dialogue. German military forces are said to have killed her over the SOX the year she emerged. This after months of fire, devastation, and terror. Her body was never recovered. Whenever I hear the body was never recovered, I immediately think faked her own death. Beware the Holovids, my friend, they will rot your brain. Nevertheless, it is possible that the Firewing still exists. Dragons are cunning. Quite cunning. And a sealed emergency zone is, by its very nature, sealed. We cannot know what happens inside with certainty. One must wonder what effect the radiation from a nuclear meltdown might have had upon her. Any theories? No. I do not deal in theory. Despite her death, there was a rumor that she had been seen over Iceland sometime after her fall, but it has never been confirmed. Some speculate that the viewer witnessed her astral form and that her body still lies in the SOX. Now, is there anything else that you need to know? Have you ever heard of a gang called the Kreuzritters? Sadly, yes. They are quite active here in Berlin. They're fascists, plain and simple. They cling to Christian doctrine to justify their actions, but they are killers first and religious fanatics second. Just what is the deal with religion here anyway? I've never paid much attention myself. Ah, well, it's complicated. We stand in a country that has clung to its religious heritage with considerable zeal. In much of the developed world, the awakening shifted public perception away from organized religion, but here in Germany it had the opposite effect. While many developed nations have adopted spiritualism, some might call it paganism, as their de facto belief systems, the Germany of 2054 remains a Christian nation. Whether that's a good thing or a bad one is open to interpretation. I take no stand on the matter either way. And what do you believe? I am a simple traveler and a seeker of truth. I believe what I directly observe, and I have observed much. In my view, all belief systems are essentially different ways of interpreting the same thing. Magic is an underlying force of the universe. It is a fundamental truth. Religion is the lens that societies use to focus the enormity of that truth into something that their people can understand. But what is the source of magic? Where does that truth come from? You ask questions that have no answers, young orc. My experiences lead me to suspect that magic is its own source. You may, of course, choose to believe differently. It matters little to me either way. So you think that the world's religions are wrong? Did I say that? No, young orc. If anything, I am saying that all belief systems are equally valid. After all, they are all different interpretations of the truth. And how can the truth be wrong? I don't buy any of this. We're dealing with fundamental contradictions here. If one philosophy says that there's no God and another says that there are hundreds of them, they can't both be right. Could a Kabbalist create a golem if his faith were misplaced? Could a voodooist Hungan? I've seen that word before, but I've never been sure how it's pronounced. Commune with the Loa if they did not exist? Could a Shinto Kanushi channel the power of kami spirits if they were figments of his imagination? All of these things happen in the Sixth World, and yet the traditional forms of many religions would each claim that the others are wrong. It's a conundrum, to be sure. The world's great religions have been struggling with it ever since the Awakening. This is a problem that I cannot solve for you, young orc. You'll have to find your own answers. Intriguing. Well, you've given me a lot to think about. It was my pleasure. Now, is there anything else that you need? Let me see what you're selling. Nose itch.
And fighting it out amongst themselves, which one's best, which one's right, which whatever. I've been trying to slog my way through the Tarot of the Bohemians by author whose pen name is Papus. Yes, according to him, that back in the day, that if any of the priests or initiates, adepts, whatever, from any of the older religions, if they could hear people today talking and arguing over, Christianity is the one true religion, no, Hinduism is the one, no, Islam is the, no, Zoroastrian, no, all the arguing claims that back in antiquity, those people would deem it absurd to have arguments like that, because supposedly at that point, even polytheists, the priests all understood that there was one God, one supreme being, but that being chose to present itself in different ways depending on the place and the time. Give it to the people in a form that they can understand or that they can accept, that is palatable to them, which is why there are differences in religions, but that the priests all understood, according to this guy, that they were all looking at the same truth people today could look at it that way, that would make a huge difference. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the whole Middle East stuff wouldn't be the problem that it is now. Of course, it's not all religion based, not really, but that's the cover for a whole lot of it. And for some people, that is the thing. For fanatics of every stripe, of every flavor. Esoteric, old New Agey, numerology, the Hebrew alphabet, the value of the letters, and relationship to the divine name, Yad, He, Vav, He. Things mispronounced Jehovah and Yahweh.
Oh, that reminds me of a silly thing.
And it's
before you wander off.
That's the number value of those 4 letters.
When you hear someone pronounce GIF as GIF, every day we stray further from Jod.
Yeah, I've never felt the urge to call that GIF.
Yeah.
I guess, spelled that way.
Yeah,
You say Jif peanut butter is
J-I-F.
It's 3 letters, just like so. G-I-F has got to be GIF. I mean, that's the way my brain has heard it forever. I'm not saying that anybody whose brain sees it this way is wrong. It's just I never saw it that way.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I mysteriously cut my thumb on Saturday night, so I had a bandage on it. Pulled that off. The adhesive of the bandage was really gummy, so it's like just sticky goo that remained on my finger. I needed to get rid of that. Like really sticky because it's bandage adhesive. Anyway. From Gunari Medbach. To VL. If you value new hardware coming to the Kreutz Bazaar, we need to talk. One of my weapons shipments was hijacked by a local gang. I can promise 500 new yen, and if you can recover the shipment, I'll have some new gear on the shelf. Come see me for the details. Commissioning your services from Withheld. We would like to arrange a meeting between you and one of our representatives. You will find him at the cafe nearby. His name is Luca Dwyer. Dwyer? No, that would be... yeah, whatever. He will be expecting you. Come alone. Ooh, mysterious. Dr. Xavier Escabel. Come see me at your earliest convenience. There's a matter that we need to discuss. Go back. Shadowland, BBS. Transys Highlander, best new deck. Just got one of these from a Transys Neuronet rep. Wants me to sell them in my store, so I took the puppy for a test drive. Signal quality is insane. Makes for a huge difference in comfort/decking fatigue. I can stay jacked in for hours and feel fine. Last session I had to set a timer just so I wouldn't forget to eat. The specs on that thing look impressive, but I'm an Allegiance man. Does the comfort really make that much of a difference? My decks are generally beaters anyway. Allegiance? What are you doing with that thing? Playing video games? Any serious decking is going to require way more horsepower than that thing can push, even overclocked. Only a crappy decker blames their gear. I do just fine, thanks. How much is Transys paying you to post this shiza on here? Help, drowning in junk messages. Hoy, chummers, I could use your help. Every time I jack into the Matrix these days, I'm flooded with junk mail. There's so much of it I can't even see. Can anyone help me? Great, another newbie who thinks he's on a tech support board. Hey, stuff it. I wouldn't ask, but I'm desperate. I can't deck like this. Alright, Thunder, calm down. It sounds like an ad bot is keyed into your deck. Been poking around anywhere sketchy lately? I don't need details. A simple yes or no will do. No, Bandit, I haven't been anywhere like that. I swear, please help me. What you want to bet he gave his personal info to some scam site? I'll give you 10 to 1 odds. No! I don't think so. All I've done was make an online dating profile. Let me guess, meet and mate? How did you guess? That's not a real dating site, Thunder. It's a place where desperate people go to get infected with malware. But what do I do? How do I make it stop? I don't know. Buy a new deck. Best of luck. Oof. Okay. Okay, first, what's the doc want? I realize I kind of, strong-armed him into not being an asshole last time. Having the doctor grow bitter and, not want to help anymore is not a good thing, so I should probably see what he wants. Maybe that'll pacify him a little bit. Welcome back. What can I do for you, my friend? I hope that our recent misunderstanding won't have an impact on our ongoing business relationship. Misunderstanding, VL? I'm sure that I don't know what you're talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not hearing me. I don't know what you're talking about. I know nobody in the sewers, and you know nothing of my extracurricular activities. As long as you're on board with that, our business together can continue unabated. Deal? Deal, Doc. Good. Now let's move on to other matters. Do you have business for me? Some work you need done, perhaps? I got your message. What did you want to discuss? Business. I have a job for you. I'm a little surprised that you want to hire me. We haven't always seen eye to eye. Well, that's true, we haven't, but I'm confident that you're the right man for the job. Why? Because I know that you're in a bad spot, and I know that you're going to need all the help you can get if you want to claw your way back out of it. As it happens, I can supply some of that help in the form of cutting-edge biotech. Very helpful stuff for a runner in a bind. But before I can do that, you'll need to do this job for me. Alright, I'm listening. Good. So let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Back before I immigrated here from my native Spain, I worked in partnership with a Berlin-based R&D lab. The biotech that they were developing was very hush-hush, very cutting-edge. Our research arrangement was that I would bankroll their research, and that they, in turn, would provide me with unique merchandise to sell in my clinics. You had more than one? Certainly. I must confess that before I moved to Berlin, I was something of a celebrity doctor. I had a chain of triage clinics that stretched from Bilbao to Madrid. I was a very wealthy man. But then my name was slandered, and the fickle mistress that is public perception turned against me. An ugly business, I assure you. Even talking about my fall from grace makes my stomach turn. The injustice of it all is almost too much to bear. What did they accuse you of? What didn't they? Theft, medical malpractice, the sale of stolen goods, other more colorful accusations that do not bear repeating. But that was then, and this is now. I came here to Berlin to escape all of that. Of course, I also moved here to be closer to the lab that I'd funded, and the merchandise that I am owed. You want me to go fetch your merchandise? Yes, and to find out what happened to the lab itself. The facility's locked down, you see, nearly impenetrable, and I have no idea why. As I was packing to move to Berlin, all was well. 16 hours later, I arrived to discover the building locked tight, with my merchandise inside. The Turk Altug has been running surveillance on the site since I set up shop here. In that time, no one has entered and no one has left. Whatever went wrong in there, it must have killed the research team. I want you to find a way into the building, recover the cybertech that they were developing, and find out what happened to the researchers. In that order. If the building has been abandoned, I'm surprised that the lot it's sitting on hasn't been gobbled up by some corp or another. And don't be. Back when I was a wealthy man, before my legal troubles, I paid the lease for a decade in advance. And before you say anything, yes, it was a huge expense. But what's locked away inside of that lab is worth 10 times what I've spent on it. I don't want anyone laying claim to it but me. Your merchandise has been sitting in this building for 2 years. Why didn't you approach Monica about this? Who says that I didn't? I had a, let us say, tumultuous friendship with your dear departed Monica. We had our ups and downs, you see, and on this subject she was most certainly down. That was her choice. I am hoping that you will be savvy enough not to make the same mistake. Let's talk compensation. What's in it for me? I can't afford to pay you in new yen, and that's your own fault, by the way. You shut off a good chunk of my revenue when you pulled that stunt down in the sewers. But what I can do is give you first crack at any biotech that you recover from the site, and make it available to you at a discount. This is top-of-the-line ware that we're talking about, mind you. Better than anything else that I've got in stock. And because it's biotech, the essence loss from implanting it will be minimal. It's a win-win, even for a shaman like you. So what's it going to be? Will you take the job or not? Sure. Excellent. The facility that you're looking for is the former laboratory of Sutherland Bioscience. Take the U-Bahn to the Adenauer Yeah, Adenauer plots, and you're sure to find it. Best of luck. Okay, for this, I will almost certainly want a Decker. I don't think I need to double up on the Shamans, though. So that works nicely. The ride to the Adenauer plots is a dismal one. Your only company on the train is an elderly dwarf in a ragged peacoat, and he spends most of his time muttering to himself. When the train rattles to a stop, he slowly rises from his perch and begins to hobble toward the doorway. The station itself isn't much different, an old, broken-down thing at the end of its useful life, feebly tottering toward obsolescence. This area of Berlin has certainly seen better days. A window of light shines down from the surface, and even that looks stale. Slowly, you begin to climb. She could equip that, but, oh, that's exactly what she has already. Okay, then, why not? What else am I going to use that for? I mean, I suppose I could sell it, but... Actually, wait, strength won't help her all that much. Da, 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 da. Sure, just to be safe. Let's go. The streets above the Adenauer plots are dark and dismal. This Keats has seen better days. Everything here reeks of economic depression and faded glory. Looming above you is a fortress-like, seemingly impregnable facility. The windows have been shuttered with enormous steel panels, lending the entire building a sinister appearance. That's our target, Sutherland Bioscience. I wonder what happened in there. I think we're about to find out. There's a cheerful thought. Come on, Chief, let's get this over with. Scope the whole place out. What the heck are these things? Just like posts, I guess. Part decorative, part functional. Oh, that one's emitting light anyway. Discarded tires. This pile of trash is steaming. Fetid waves of stench wash over you as you draw near. It's a toilet, isn't it? God damn, that's rank. I'll stay back here if you don't mind. I have better things to do than dig through a pile of decomposing trash. It might not be decomposition. That steam could be coming from a grate or a vent under the pile. Yeah, well, I ain't touching it. Move the trash aside. It is a vent. The door is sealed tight. Dirt, dust, and grime have caked around the corners. It's clear that no one has been through here in many months. You can see the hydraulic jacks locking the door in place near the bottom of the frame. Using this seems like the cleanest route. Get in there, Blitz. That's too far away. No. I'll try it. Nice. Phone? I don't know that number. I'm not going to answer. And there we go. Oh, opened up a shortcut out, too. Excellent. Scientific terminal. This terminal appears to contain an inventory control system for Shadowrun Bioscience's merchandise. The items are spelled out in amber lettering against a solid black background. A glowing cursor awaits your input. Shadowrun Bioscience, product and specimen inventory. Tissue banks, organ farm, breakdown and analysis, replication fabrication, contract fulfillment, special projects. This entry provides a complete breakdown of the standard organs that are being grown in the organic chemistry wing of Shadowrun Bioscience. It seems that the lab was outfitted with the capacity to mass-produce vat-grown metahuman organs, including hearts, kidneys, livers, and lungs. This material would then be used for testing purposes. That's some good tech to have. I need more drink. I'll be right back. grabbed something to snack on, too. Alright, breakdown and analysis. This entry contains a complete log of studies performed by Shadowrun employees on the products of competing biotech companies. BioWare samples by Universal Omnitech, Shiawase, Proteus AG, and Biogene have all gone under the knife here, and the results of each dissection have been meticulously recorded. Crinkle, crinkle. This entry contains notes on Shadowrun's attempts to replicate products that it had previously dissected and studied. According to the information here, Shadowrun had achieved a shocking level of success at producing generic versions of a wide variety of commercial and restricted BioWare products. These knockoff products were commissioned by an outside investor and had been moved into cold storage in the executive wing pending transport. This entry contains a complete breakdown of the organs waiting in cold storage to be claimed by clients and investors. Scanning over the list, you see a number of high-end security level enhancements in inventory. BioWare like this would normally run tens of thousands of new yen. If this was what Escabel was commissioning Shadowrun to produce, he could undercut all of his competitors and still make an ungodly profit. This entry details a number of projects that involve invasive testing on awakened animals. There are listings for a number of hellhounds, including their complete medical histories. It appears that most of the experimental procedures listed were performed on a subject named Billy, but who or what Billy might be has been left undisclosed. This console seems to control the locking mechanism for the door in front of you. A keycard reader has been set. Okay, keycard access clearance level B. The door is hermetically sealed. Months of disuse have left it covered in a thick coat of dust. A simple swipe key access system has been mounted into the door frame. Block letters on the system's case read "Executive Clearance Only." The door is locked by a high-tech mag lock with a swipe key access system, but the status screen indicates the lock has been overridden by a local computer on the network. Let's take a step in here. Uh-oh. Do you know something about Billy? The door is maglocked shut, and it appears that someone in the not-too-distant past has smeared its surface with feces. Lovely. Hey, Swavely. I'm running around an abandoned biotech facility. What's up with you? It's pretty cool. Are you familiar with the, you may have heard me talk about it before. Are you familiar with the campaign setting of Earth Dawn? So, Earth Dawn was originally created... I'm not entirely clear on the timeline of it, but Earth Dawn was created by the same people as Shadowrun. And it's the same universe, but where Shadowrun is the 6th age, Earth Dawn is either the 3rd or the 4th, I think. I totally get that. But yeah, all of the dragons that they mention in Shadowrun, all of them existed in Earth Dawn. Their names weren't all the same, but they were, like, lore-wise, they were the same dragons. Oh, hello. Aha! I knew I recognized your name. I was like, where have I seen that before? Who is that? I know who that is. Thank you. Okay, so Shaman's first move should probably be to get in cover. There's, well, I haven't played the SNES game, I'm slightly familiar with it. And I appreciated that near the beginning of Shadowrun Returns, there's a bit of an homage to the SNES game, with you waking up a guy who is sleeping in a morgue fridge. Sharp little thing on my finger. Just like a... Yeah. Right? I love just the lingo. Oops. Sorry, Glory. Ouch.
There. What's the name of your fish? Your Siamese fighting fish, your betta?
My betta, Moby, Zarni, Boop, Zaphod, Boomzilla, Beeblebrox.
Zarni Boop came before?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Of course. Yep. Swavely has too, Zaphod. Those were some, what? I mean, I mean, you're my mom. I would hope that you had met me in person. Yeah. Yeah.
I would say I was the first to meet you, but actually not the Dad saw you before I
did. Aw. I bet they do. I mean, at the very least, I'm sure that Reed remembers you for modeling the mug. Yeah, you know, I'm not really sure why so many people responded negatively to that visit. That always confused me. Stamp of death? This security computer governs the locks on the door leading back into the main lab. Sure, go ahead and do that. A wild-eyed young man in a tattered lab coat confronts you. His beard is bushy and unkempt, but bare patches of skin show through. You there! Who are you? He stalks toward you, hands twitching. How dare you enter my domain? Easy there, pal. I thought that this lab was abandoned. Abandoned? This is my territory! My home! You're an invader in my territory, Orc Man, and you have murdered my peasantry! We've got a live one here, Chief. You are a murderer! A monster! You will pay! Hold up, who are you? I am Philip Rex, the Night King of Sutherland Bioscience. I will have you banished for your transgressions, Orc-Man, banished to the underworld and left to the ravages of the all-powerful Billy. He pauses, blinking. Hold still while I fetch the robots that will banish you. I think that we got off on the wrong foot here, to put it mildly. You killed them, you monster! The people I've devoted my life to protecting! I did my best to make life good for the peasantry. I scrubbed their plastic cases on a daily basis, and I crooned pleasing melodies to ease their troubled minds. But those days are over now. My peasants are dead. You destroyed something beautiful. Alright, sire, I'm sorry about your peasants, but I'm on an important, quest. The grief on his face instantly vanishes. What replaces it looks like curiosity. Oh? Well, that changes everything. Perilous quests and civilian casualties go together like chocolate and peanut butter. I can't stay mad at you for that. Tell me about this quest of yours, good orc man. Leave nothing to the imagination. He leans forward, smiling. You have my rapt attention. I need to get my hands on the BioWare prototypes that are being stored in the executive wing. His eyes go wide. The executive wing? Madness! Take this as a warning, noble stranger. If you intend to forge your way into that land of milk and honey, you do so at your own peril. The underworld stands between you and your goal. And the underworld is home to the murderous Billy. Alright, who or what is Billy? A great beast! A creature of legend! He pauses for a moment, thinking. Well, technically he's a basilisk that one of the executives was performing experiments on. Sort of a passion project, you might say. I've dealt with basilisks before. Billy is no ordinary basilisk. Years of experimentation have remade him into the ultimate killing machine. He's smarter than 10 men, and 5 times as deadly. If this Billy is standing in my way, I guess that I'll have to kill him. A fool's errand. Heiner tried to kill Billy once. He thought that by eating the beast we could steal its power. Hubris. Billy devoured my friend for his insolence, and the last remaining copy of Keycard E was lost. He was a beautiful fool, that Heiner. I told him that we didn't need to eat Billy, that we could survive indefinitely on synthesized cardiac tissue and choco nubs. But he wouldn't listen, and Keycard E was lost, and without it, I can no longer access the executive wing and its expansive snack bar. I have eaten nothing but vat-grown metahuman organs for 1.5 years, stranger. I would kill for a choco nub. I think that I've heard all I need to about Billy. Just tell me how to get into the executive wing. Very well, stranger. If you cannot be dissuaded, I will help you. The ragged lab tech fishes in his coat pocket with a bony hand and produces a thin slip of plastic. He presents it to you with a flourish. This is my most prized possession, the incomparable Keycard B. Using this, you can descend to the underworld and face Billy. If you should survive the encounter, search for the long-missing Keycard E. Use it to reopen the executive wing, and I will see to it that you are richly rewarded. Okay. It looks like this media setup is wired into the building's security system. Video feeds from cameras all over the facility can be viewed here. Paging through the computer's file system, you find a number of archived video feeds from the building's surveillance system. In addition, episodes 1 through 6 of an old Slovakian period fantasy series called Night Kings of Lightning Hold have been saved to the machine's desktop. I remember that show. It was horrible. I mean, really, really bad. Made Neil the Orc Barbarian look like high art. Me and my buddies in the Schwarzerherzen used to get high and laugh at it. It only ran for 7 episodes before it got pulled. According to the computer's file system, each of the 6 episodes has been viewed over 400 times in the past 2 years. The last marathon viewing was this morning. "18 months ago. As the video feed kicks in, Philip is engaged in an animated discussion with someone who's standing just outside camera range. You can see his shoes in shadow, but nothing more. The voice sounds human. You'd guess that the off-camera speaker is a man in his early 20s. Look, we've survived this long. If we play our cards right and do a proper bit of rationing, I reckon that we can live off of the executive snack bar for a long time to come. We'll have plenty of fat and sugar, those won't be a problem. We've got mixed nuts for protein, and we can get our vitamins and minerals from diet bars. There aren't many of those, but like I said, we'll ration. I'd be willing to bet that we can hold out for 2 to 3 months on what's stashed away in that snack bar. We're sure to be rescued before we run dry." You're fooling yourself, man. Ignoring an unpleasant truth rather than facing it. We have to accept the fact that we could be stuck in here for the long haul. The snacks are great and all, but they can't be our staple food stuff. We need to stretch them out as far as humanly possible, and that means supplementing them with something more substantial. You don't mean... Look, just Think of it like farming, right? If we look after our crops, we'll always have food to eat. We have enough supplies on hand to keep the tissue cultures in the Orgkim wing growing indefinitely. What I'm talking about is growing meat for our own survival. That's all it is. Metahuman meat, Phil. Synthetic hearts and livers and kidneys grown to be implanted into people like you and me. You're talking about eating people parts. It's effing disgusting, and I won't do it. Unless you fancy dying of malnutrition, you're gonna have to. You know that as well as I do. Organ meats are rich in vitamins and minerals. Choline, CoQ10, vitamin D, bioavailable iron, all things that we're gonna need if we want to survive in the long term. You won't find much vitamin D in licorice sticks and choco nubs. You're talking like they're never going to rescue us. We're in Berlin, Heiner. What they? Who do you think is coming? We need to be prepared to survive here for a long time, maybe years, and that means making the most of the resources at our disposal. You're talking about resorting to cannibalism, man. No, I'm talking about eating meat. I mean, once you get over the squick factor of it, it's not like they're killing people to eat them. It's lab-grown tissue samples. That doesn't, to me at least, that doesn't seem to have the same kind of stigma. Or at least, doesn't seem like it ought to have the same kind of stigma. An image flickers onto the frame. Philip, leaning against a wall, listlessly chewing on an unidentifiable hunk of cooked meat. He looks miserable. A drone comes to inspect him, and he pushes it away. Heiner's voice crackles in over the intercom. Philip doesn't look up. I'm going now, Phil. No more arguments, okay? There's a long pause. In lieu of responding, Philip takes another bite of meat and gnashes at it with his teeth. Oh, kill that effing thing. You'll see. That goddamn basilisk is going down. Once we can get down into the sewers again, we might be able to find a way out. This is our chance, Philip. Wish me luck. Philip says nothing. The video continues to play for a time, then cuts to static. The video feed flickers onto the screen. In it, you find Philip standing in the corner of the room that you're in now. He looks haggard, exhausted, and he carries a haunted look in his eyes. Heiner is notably absent. Cheap synthesized music pipes in from somewhere off-screen. Philip turns to stare in the direction that the music came from. A smooth baritone voice sings out a phrase in Slovak. A half-second later, a different voice shouts a translation in German. Night Kings of Lightning Hold! Oh man, that's it! That's the show! I forgot how bad the dub job was! Philip stares glassy-eyed as the show begins. The synthesized music blares. A deep, trollish voice rumbles out of the media center speakers. I, Titonius Rex, will defend my realm! I do so swear it before my magic sword, Argonar! This I do swear! Elf, actress. An alarmingly breathy elvish voice sings out in response. But, Titonius, the Gibberthon hordes will smite you if you stay. The people in that valley are only peasants. You needn't throw your life away for them. Flee with me into the enchanted wood of Trallasheen. Please make this stop. My life is sworn to protect those peasants, she-elf. Run back to your enchanted trees if you will, but a Night King will never flee! But, Titonius! Her voice comes out in a lilting wail. You cannot die! I love you! Then go to your father and beseech him to rally his elf troops southward. For if Titonius Rex falls, Lightning Hold will fall, and Lightning Hold will not fall! The troll drones on, audibly struggling to emote and occasionally tripping over his lines. Overall, the acting quality is roughly on par with what you'd expect from a primary school Christmas pageant. Philip stares at the screen, listlessly chewing his meat. His nose is wrinkled in distaste, and his fists clench and unclench. Mercifully, the video feed cuts to static. The screen flickers and a video feed of Philip pops onto the screen. He's standing in the corner, watching an episode of Night Kings of Lightning Hold. His jaw hangs slack, and he stares at the screen in rapt attention.
But father, Titonius Rex is risking his life, nay, his very soul, to defend Lightning Hold from the Jubbathons. His enchanted sword, Argonar, feeds upon his honor and bravery, and it seeks to transform him from a noble Night King into an evil demon lord.
Philip's lips move silently, mouthing the words as they are spoken. I think I might be doing Remy a concern. She is meowing now. Evidently, he has committed the entire script to memory.
My darling daughter, that is why I cannot send my troops. Your beloved Titonius Rex walks the knife's edge between light and darkness every time he draws that devil blade from its scabbard. It is long past time that you learned the truth about me, Brenathay. I was the one who trapped the demon lord Karabork within that blade.
The breathy actress lets out a sharp gasp. Phil mimes the motion, and a tear begins to trace its way down his cheek.
But father, you can't mean...
Yes, my daughter. I was the one they called Thunderspear, the sworn enemy of Titonius Rex's people, the Hunger Barbarian tribe.
Remy, no.
Then all of this is your fault! The Jubbathons, the threat to my beloved soul, all of it!
It was the only way to save Tralasheen, my darling daughter. Tralasheen, and your mother, whom I hid away when you were but a girl. She's still alive, Brenathay.
A security drone floats by to inspect Philip. Idly, he reaches out and begins to stroke its casing, petting it as if it were a house cat. The video feed flickers and sputters out, and you find yourself back at the main menu. The screen flickers and Philip appears on the screen. He appears to be dancing with one of the security drones. The little machine weaves and bobs frantically to avoid colliding with him, and with every motion the lab tech slides in to fill the empty space. Around and around they go, twirling and writhing across the laboratory floor. There is an enormous smile on Philip's face. Then the lights go dim, and an alarm begins to sound. Danger, danger, intruder detected, security protocols engaged. I admire your bravery, noble vassal. Philip rests a hand on top of the little drone. But this is my fight. I, Philip Rex, will defend this land with my life. Indeed, with my very soul. Sir, please clear the area. Hostiles inbound. No, noble spirit. It is you who must, I repeat, clear the area. Hostiles inbound. He nods slowly, his face beaming with pride. Maybe you're right. I am already a Night King. Perhaps this is your time to shine. I will not rob you of this moment of glory. I will allow you your moment in the sun, and when you return victorious, I will grant you lands and titles to reward your heroism. Please clear the area. Philip turns and steps out of camera range. The drone is joined by two others, which wait in a holding position facing the camera. The picture breaks into static, and the video feed cuts off. Wow. Meow. I need more drink. Key panel's LED indicator blips to a more pleasant hue, and the door unlocks with a thunk. Meow. Meow. Schematic auto-injector bliss. Weird. It's a sweet girl. Meow. The key panel's LED indicator blips from red to green, and the lock thunks open. Oop. And there they are. Isn't it? Moby, Zarni Whoop, Zaphod, Boomzilla, Beeblebrox. Can smell it here. Said I can smell it from here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, geez, there's more behind me?
I saw something that I had never noticed before.
Yeah?
On a fence here on 36th. Somebody has a little doggy toy.
Cute.
You know, a concave, whatever, you know, rounded, down low, so it's a small dog. You know, so they could kind of stick their head in and not just look out, but also left and right.
Mm-hmm.
It's adorable. So now I'm gonna pay more attention, although
Yeah.
Because it's just a really cute idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, even that didn't? Yeah. His computer case. There is. He just doesn't have it on there. executive keycard. I am glad that I picked up that lightning wall ability before coming out here.
Hey, Daddy.
The key panel's light blips to a more pleasant hue, and the door unlocks. Thank you, my friend. You have granted me the secret desire that my heart yearned for most, a respectable supply of non-organ-based foods. You will always be welcome in these hallowed halls. I, Philip Rex, do so swear it.
Did you see where Zaphod said the music is good?
Uh-huh. What happened here? What caused the lockdown? A calamitous series of events. It began with a spilled cup of soy calf, and ended in terror and blood.
Oh, that's like the Pepsi syndrome. Saturday Night Live, they did take off on the China syndrome. Only they spilled Pepsi on the board at the nuclear. Generation electric plant. Whatever.
Good enough for me. Someone spilled soy calf, building shut down, case closed. Someone spilled soy calf, that's it? Well, no. Naturally, the inevitable results of such an incident followed the spill. He blinks confusedly. Do you want me to spell it out for you? Yes, that wasn't an explanation. Then you shall have one. Where to begin? On the morning of the lockdown, all was well. Giesler, an executive, was making his rounds, walking from console to console to check up on us. He held a bubbling cup of soy calf in his stubby little hands. We all knew that food and drink were forbidden outside of the employee lounge, but Giesler was a proud man, and he would not obey the rules. His pride was our undoing. He tripped and fell, and his soy calf spilled into a console in the animal testing wing. There was a terrible snap of shorting circuits, coupled with the stench of ozone. All over the building, emergency lights flashed, and alarms blared. The building went into quarantine mode. Doors locked, and shutters slammed closed. We were all trapped like rats inside, but we were not afraid. We were sure that the malfunction would be fixed within the hour. We did not know what was coming for us. Unbeknownst to any of us, Giesler's devil beverage had done more than initiate a false quarantine. It had also shorted the locks on Billy's cage. The albino basilisk slipped its bonds, and in that moment, its reign of terror began. Within a half hour of the spill, Billy had slaughtered everyone who could have disengaged the lockdown. Executives were torn limb from limb. Their business attire was shredded. Their expenditure reports bathed in blood. And the rest of us were trapped inside with the savage beast.
Their business attire was shredded. What company is it that the Legal Eagle talks about his custom cut suits?
Oh, I don't remember what that company is, but they don't sponsor me, so I don't have to name drop them.
with
Yeah,
it immediately.
same.
But, I think it starts with a T for whatever good that does. But anyway, that's what I thought of, though. The business attire was shredded.
He falls
This is
silent.
where Legal Eagle would tell them, well, then they need to contact the good folks over at, the fine folks at whatever, and get their own for under $400.
He falls silent, blinking, as you watch his expression clouds. When he speaks again, his voice is small. In the end, only Heiner and I remained. We managed to trap Billy in the underworld, but there was no hope of escape for us. It's been 2 years. Someone must have come knocking before now. No. As far as the outside world was concerned, we were still under quarantine protocols. Nobody knew why, and nobody cared. The building had presumably been sealed for a reason, and the world at large wasn't in a hurry to crack it open again. Heiner and I found ourselves completely isolated from the outside world, with a terrible creature running loose in the basement. Our choices were to give up and die, or to make the best of it. The manic cheer that you've come to expect floods back into the lab tech. He spreads his arms wide, a knowing smile on his face. And as you can plainly see, we chose the latter! We persevered, and eventually transformed this husk of a building into the glorious kingdom that you find yourself standing in today. It was all for the best in the end. I tamed this land, and I have grown to love it. I will never live anywhere else. You're really into that Night Kings of Lightning Hold show, aren't you? Staring at you, he slowly nods. It is...
Indochino. There's not a T in there at all.
No, there's not.
But he specified Black Lapel, I think, is actually who makes his suits. But I guess Indochino is the umbrella thing. They sell suits and ties and shirts.
I don't know.
I guess because I didn't recognize the Black Lapel. I didn't recognize that at all. But it says that's been his exclusive for 5 years. And I didn't notice the date on there, but oh, there you go.
Okay.
Shredding business. They need to see the fine folks that
It is my life. My entire life. My reason for being. Wow. Must be rough being that big a fan and not having seen the ending. You're saying that there's more? Yeah. Last episode before it got cancelled. You know, the hastily written final chapter where you find out what happens with the Jubathon invasion. I had always thought they had left the ending to the imagination. Like a beautiful dream. He fidgets uncomfortably. But now the dream is over. I will never know peace until I have seen this conclusion for myself. He lurches forward, his hands clasped in supplication. You must help me. You must find a way to show me the final episode. I need it. I'm willing to bet that I could do that, Chief. This guy might not know how to disengage the quarantine, but I'll bet that I can. And once we've re-established the building's matrix connection, it'd be no big deal for me to download the last episode for him to watch. If nothing else, it'll keep him occupied for a while. Yeah, I don't see why you shouldn't. Go ahead. Sure thing, Chief. The terminals in this building are networked together, so I should be able to drop the quarantine from any computer in the place. Oh, thank you. Thank you! This is the happiest day of my life. I'm not going to drop the quarantine until I am certain that I have cleared the building, though. Oh, I guess that counts as a terminal. I was just like, there's all these things around here that look like computers. This terminal governs the animal testing wing of Sutherland Bioscience. Data entries concerning animal test subjects and the procedures performed upon them fill the menu screen. Hellhound testing protocols. This entry contains notes on a variety of invasive test procedures that were performed on a kennel of Hellhound test subjects. There are several memos appended to the file. Apparently, the scientists working in the animal testing wing were less convinced that working with dangerous, fire-breathing animals would yield useful results than the executives were. Thank you. This entry covers the various forms of experimentation and testing performed on Sutherland's prized possession, a rare albino basilisk acquired from an exotic animals dealer in Portugal. Thank you.
Exotic animals dealer, not a dealer. Or did it say dealer?
It said dealer.
Did it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it said stealer. An exotic animals dealer.
Nope. It appears that the basilisk was being used as the primary focus of a passion project at Sutherland, an attempt to create a magically active piece of bioware. Why the executives in charge of the project felt that a basilisk would make an appropriate test subject is not clarified. The list of procedures performed on the creature is extensive, including a series of anesthetized thoracic surgeries. Ooh.
So that's just cruel, you know? I mean,
The macaroni and sneeze?
I realize basilisks are not particularly nice,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, they're definitely not going to think any more highly of you if you do that to them. You're going to be in even greater danger.
Okay, disengage the quarantine protocols. Alright, Chief. Watch me work.
Watch me burn, you fool.
Blitz plugs his cyberdeck into the terminal and punches the escape key with a flourish. A second later, he hits the Y key. The building lights flicker. That can't have been it. You still have to do something else, right? Jack into the Matrix or something? Nope, that's it. Quarantine disengaged. And now to get Phil the last episode of his bullshit Trid show. His fingers dance over the deck's keypad. A few minutes later, he glances up with a smile. Done and done. The horrible conclusion to that terrible show is waiting for Phil on his media center. You want to know how it ends? Not particularly. Too bad, because I'm telling you anyway. Titonius Rex and his elf sweetie's dad make up, a bunch of elves fight the Jubathons and get their asses kicked, and the whole Karabork the Demon Lord subplot is dropped because the show's effects budget got cut. In the end, Titonius saves Lightning Hold by rallying a peasant revolt. It comes out of nowhere, barely makes sense, and the whole thing ends in a vomit-inducing love scene. It's a goddamn train wreck. Hey, whatever, as long as it keeps Phil happy. The intrepid orc man returns. What can I do for you? I want to know about the prototype BioWare. It's BioWare. Pretty standard stuff. Pain editors, trauma dampers, ortho skin, things like that. And all of it was reverse engineered from existing BioWare products, right? I've read up on Sutherland's process. Yes, that's right. Knockoffs. Dangerous work, illegal most places, but not here in Berlin. Our investor needed it that way. Knockoff BioWare. Great. It was good stuff. High quality. You couldn't tell one of our pieces from the real thing, not even with a microscope. But that was then, and this is now. The stuff in this lab, the organs we worked so hard to copy, it's no different to me than anything else you've seen in this lab. It's all meat. He frowns in distaste. Potentially edible, sure, but otherwise useless. Not to me, it isn't. I need that stuff, and I'm not leaving without it. Get me into the executive wing. You're in the executive wing. Fill your pockets, take whatever you like. I, on the other hand, will avail myself of the snack bar. Tell me about your peasantry. I love them. They're like family to me. When I'm hungry, they're the ones who harvest the meat for me to cook from the cultured organ lab. When I'm in need of company, they keep me warm.
Warm?
Mm-hmm.
Warm company? Is that what company's for?
Sounds cozy. It is. You killed 3 of them, but I can activate more. He rubs his chin, grinning. They will return to me, and I will show them the love that only a true ruler can. I will bathe them in my affection, and they... Hang on a second. Just how many more peasants do you have in this building? Oh, hundreds! The security system here is quite state-of-the-art. User-friendly, too. It didn't take long to figure out how to make some peasants wake up and others go to sleep. I allow the majority of my peasantry to rest peacefully, basking in the benevolence of my rule. I could wake them up at any time, but why? I say let them rest. That's probably for the best. I want to know a little...
Actually sleep, or is that a euphemism?
They're robots.
Ah. So really it's neither.
Yes. I want to know a little more about the underworld. The nether realm that lies beneath the hallowed halls of Sutherland Bioscience. A nightmarish labyrinth of dripping pipes and filthy brickwork. Billy rules supreme down there now. Well, did. To set foot into the underworld means certain death. Strange that somebody would build a labyrinth under a biotech company. It is, isn't it? It's a mystery, a conundrum. What could they have intended it for? The torture of the innocent? Or perhaps the builders had the prescience to foresee the coming of Billy? Or maybe they intended it for basic sanitation. It's a sewer too, by the way. Teddy. Hop, hop, hop. Oh, I saw it. That was cute.
What a good boy. Good pants.
Cute animals. His voice lowers to an ominous whisper. But it is also a nightmarish labyrinth of... Yeah, I got you. Let's talk about something else. Very well. What do you wish to know? The quarantine's off now. The final episode of your show is on the records computer. Yes! Peace will be known and brought to the land! Phil takes off running in the direction of the records room. Night Kings of Lightning Hold. You have given me everything, my whole heart's desire. The hidden knowledge of Titonius Rex's victory is mine, and I will be a better ruler for it. And also I have sugary snacks. Philip stares into your eyes. His entire body is trembling. I have it all, and all thanks to you, noble orc man. All thanks to you. Don't worry about it, man. It wasn't even all that difficult. He throws back his head and barks out a laugh. Ha! Spoken like a true hero. Farewell, my friend. Perhaps one day I will be able to come to your aid in return. That'd be, great, Phil. I'm sure that you'd be a really big help. As you emerge, blinking into the light of day, you find yourself standing face to face with a veritable wall of security personnel. A man in an expensive suit raises a megaphone to shout at you.
From Indochino.
You! Stay right where you are! The megaphone really isn't necessary, man. I'm standing right here. You will place the stolen BioWare samples that you're carrying on the ground, then lie on your belly with your hands on your head. Do it now, or I will order my men to open fire.
Oh gosh, is he brown by any chance?
Who, me?
The character that's being ordered to lay on his belly with his hands on his head.
That would be me.
Or he'll be shot. Are you brown?
I'm kind of green.
That could be just as dangerous.
Well, the guy yelling at me also appears to be brown, so...
Yeah.
I didn't steal anything. The owner of this material commissioned me to retrieve it for him. Escabel, you mean? Yes, we know all about him. He has quite a reputation back in Spain. We're with Shiawase, street scum, and that material infringes on 15 of our company's patents. The organs that you're carrying are based on our intellectual property. This is unbelievable. This place is locked down for 2 years and you choose today to come visit? You think that's a coincidence? You think that it's a coincidence? We came when the quarantine was broken. We've had eyes on this place since the lockdown went into effect. You called us here when you opened the doors. By the way, you could have broken into this place months ago. The building was quarantined, idiot. It's cheaper to set up a camera than it is to mount a hazmat cleanup effort. As long as that counterfeit merchandise was contained, we didn't care that it was in there. But it will not hit the streets. Now shut your mouth and hit the floor, or I'll order my men to open fire. Don't make me kill you, man. He shakes his head in disgust. Idiot Shadowrunner. You people don't know when to keep your mouths shut. Men, open fire! A shrill voice crackles over the building's intercom system. It reverberates through the empty streets. You will not threaten this man, Jubbathon dog! The F? Too long have my people lived in fear of your aggression. I, Philip Rex, will protect this land from your mongrel deprivations. The corporate spokesman turns to address the security officers behind him. You two, enter the building, find whoever's on that intercom and silence him. Yes, sir. He turns back to face you, reaching for the sidearm on his hip. And as for you... The lab tech's voice rings down from the speakers. Underneath it, you can hear the distinctive sound of fingers hammering on a keyboard. Peasants, arise and defend your home. You need only believe in yourselves. The power is yours! Oh boy, they have a shaman. Nice. It was Remy. Daniel said, noticed Zaphod earlier saying that is an amazing cat, and was asking which cat it was. Stop. What? Oops. Mm-hmm.
Is moving just a little
Yeah. Yeah.
but even closer to
Oh.
us. You know, they're on 36 if we're heading from.
Oh,
their
that stretch of offices,
they're
right?
beyond
Okay,
the
cool.
health food place. I mean, coming this direction.
Yeah, but between here and the health food place, you mean?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, if you're going from where they are now
Yeah.
to past the health food place,
Mm-hmm.
heading this direction, and they're on the right. In fact, I'm sure you've seen the copper roof, the place where part of the roof is copper, that's the place.
Cool.
So, yeah. And I told her, I says, that puts you even closer to me. And she says, that's why we're moving. It'll be more convenient for you. I says, that's so very thoughtful. So yeah, we can practically walk to the dentist now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They did give me gas last time with the extraction, but extra. Which I think is kind of rude. I mean, that ought to be a bonus. That if you've got to go to the dentist, then the least they can do is give you laughing gas. Happy gas. Doesn't make me laugh, but it does make me happy.
Would you please? Thank you.
Sweetenly.
As the smoke begins to clear, a cry of jubilation sounds out over the Sutherland Bioscience Building's intercom system.
Jubilation!
We've done it! We've done it, my friends! The Jubathon hordes have been defeated.
Jubathon?
Mm-hmm.
Is that why it's shouts of jubilation? Because they defeated the Jubathons? That's just weird.
The Chupa thingy? With this great victory, I declare a new age of exploration and commerce. My peasants will form trade agreements with our neighboring kingdoms for the betterment of all. Yeah, Phil, I hope that works out for you. Farewell, stalwart orc man. We will remember you always. You hear the rustling sound of Phil pushing himself away from the intercom. A few seconds later, the building's external speakers fall silent. Very silly. I love it. These homeless folks over here have any thoughts about the firefight that just happened? Doesn't seem that way. The U-Bahn trip back from the Adenauer Platz is a shaky one. Surprisingly, the train is packed. The only empty seats are at the very back of the car. A haggard-looking young mother marches down the aisle, dragging her 3 screaming children behind her. 2 boys and a girl, each around 6 years old. As the woman nears you, her eyes fix on the frozen pouches of bioengineered meat that you liberated from Sutherland's executive freezer. She opens her mouth to say something, but at that moment the little girl jams a finger into her brother's nose. The boy howls, and the young mother's shoulders slump. Slowly, robotically, she turns back toward her destination and begins to trundle forward, dragging her squalling offspring forward with the solemnity of a funeral procession. Eventually, the train hums to a stop. You debark gratefully, lugging a freezer's worth of BioWare samples behind you. Bitch. Escabel's expression brightens when he catches sight of you. Ah, you're back. Do you have my merchandise? I do, in fact. It's right here. He greedily snatches the samples from your hands. So you do. Yes. Yes, this is exactly what I've been waiting for. Good work, VL.
I didn't want to happen.
Thank you. The doctor turns away, rifling through the samples and inspecting their labels. He looks like a kid in a candy store. As per our agreement, there will be no monetary compensation for this run, but if you'll give me a moment, I will add the samples that you've recovered to my inventory. He looks over the samples that you've brought him and eagerly begins punching their serial numbers into his PDA. I think that you'll be pleasantly surprised. And now, if you'll excuse me. His sentence trails off as he returns his attention to his merchandise. Hang on, there are a few more details that we need to discuss. Fine, but let's make this quick, alright? I want to get this merchandise logged into inventory before it starts to thaw. The Shiawase Corporation had eyes on that building. Wait, I had to fight one of their retrieval teams. Oh? I can't say that I am surprised. They were instrumental in engineering my downfall back in Spain. The bastards brought all manner of drummed-up charges against me. The tabloid press had a field day. I wouldn't worry about Shiawase. They may have their files on me, but they won't take action. They won't take any direct action against the Kreutzbazaar. I have information on several of their executives that would be quite embarrassing if it ever came to light. Don't you want to know what caused the lockdown? A flicker of irritation passes over his face. He reluctantly turns back to face you. Yes, I suppose that I do. Go ahead, tell me. I'm all ears. It was a stupid accident. Somebody spilled soy calf on a control console, and a bunch of test animals killed the researchers. That's... ugh. That is frustrating. But I suppose that's all water under the bridge. I have my merchandise, after all. One of the researchers survived. He's gone insane in there over the past couple of years. He refuses to leave. Thinks that he's something called a Night King. How tragic. He pauses for a moment, considering, then shrugs. As far as I'm concerned, he can stay there for as long as he likes. The lease is paid through 2061, and I don't need the building for anything. That's uncharacteristically generous of you, Doctor. The money is already spent, VL. I can't get a refund, and the cleanup costs on getting the building up and running would ruin me. So it's going to sit idle one way or the other. Anyway, I already have what I need from the facility. If your little friend wants to play out his fantasies in there, he's more than welcome to. I wash my hands of it. It's all that I needed. I'll let you get back to your inventory. I found this schematic. Can you make and install it? Interesting. These types of implanted injectors have become popular with some of the local gangs. Yes, I can install it, though I will need payment for the materials. I need medical supplies. Buy a replacement medkit. Also, let's take a look at the cyberware, see what his new stuff does. That would be a cool thing to give to Glory. Simi Kim leans against a wall, her head downcast and her face lost in shadow. Sensing your presence, she looks up, revealing a black eye poorly covered by concealer. And still she smiles at you. Hello, VL. How are you? Are you alright, Kim? I'm fine. Just another day in Berlin.
Is this gonna be another one that makes me cry?
Might. Is there something going on around here? Yeah, there's always something going on. It's the flux, right? It gives, it takes. Sometimes it takes more than it gives. And some things it takes are gone forever. Friends that disappear, family that dies, people like Monica. I don't much like the flux. In The Sims, you can have the same happy day over and over. You can skip past the parts you don't like, or replay the good moments as many times as you want. I can't think of any parts of real life I'd want to play over, and plenty of parts I wish I could skip. How'd you end up in the Kreutz Bazaar? I don't know. I was living on the streets since I was a kid. Had no family, no home. I got mixed up with some bad people, and I had a bad day. Ended up owing them money. Too much money. I got beat up. Pretty bad. Needed a doctor, but couldn't pay for one. Then I found Doc Escabel. Or he found me, I can't really remember. He said he could help me. He gave me the money up front, but he said I had to come back for medicine every month until it was time to pay him back. And I did. I took the medicine just like he said. I really don't want to talk about this anymore, okay? You take care of yourself. Whatever I have to do. Lucky Strike stands in her customary place, her gear piled atop a nearby bar stool. For once, she isn't smoking. She gives a small nod as you approach. Hey again, VL. What's up? You said they've got a team in Mitta. I'd like to hear a little more about them. She shrugs. They're good people. They get the job done. What else do you need to know? A little more than that. Some details would be nice. Alright, sure. Why not? We've got Rakter. He's a rigger, an immigrant from the Russian Republic. Genius mechanic and engineer. The guy built his own crawler form drone, and he's impressive as hell at piloting it. There's Barracuda, the team's shaman and faceman. Excuse me. He's an elf in his mid-40s. He's got the whole Silver Fox thing working for him. He conducts most of our negotiations. Great card player. Hanshin is our decker and requisite tough guy. Troll, huge, covered in tats and piercings. You know the type. I'm pretty sure that he and Barracuda have a thing going on, but they'll never cop to it. She presents herself to you with an ironic smile. And then there's me. Between us, we keep our bases covered. I'm sure that you do. I'm willing to bet that my crew's better, though. There's still a space for you if you wanted to sign on. Sounds that way. How are they to work with? Solid. We're all on the same page, and nobody's afraid to speak his mind. We all get how a crew of anarchist runners is supposed to work. Even Ractor, who's still pretty new to the scene here in Berlin. It gets tense from time to time, but it's supposed to get tense. Better that than to have to defer to a leader and follow orders. We're all free, and we know it. Anyway, enough about them. I don't come here to talk about work. Was there something else you wanted to talk about? I've been meaning to ask, what's up with the tattooed circuitry? Is it purely decorative, or... It is now. Wasn't always, though. She stretches her neck so the circuit pattern on her face can catch the light. What you're looking at used to be tattoo magic. Got it done when I was in Tokyo doing a job for the Yakuza. Tattoo magic, huh? That's a new one on me. Yeah, it was for me too. It's a metamagic thing, a way of quickening spells to a person, binding magic into the flesh so that it's almost impossible to get rid of. Anyway, long story short, I found a way to break it. Now it just looks pretty in the lamplight. What did the tattoos do before you broke them? She pauses for a moment, considering. Finally, she shrugs. Sure, I'll tell you. Why not? Maybe knowing will keep you from making the same mistake. So, when I went to work for the Axe, they offered... No, insisted... What?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They offered... No, insisted that I let them ink me. Said I'd need it for the job. Long story short, the tattoos did boost my abilities, but they also branded me, marked me as Yakuza property, and gave them an easy way of tracking me from the astral plane. How'd you break the spell? That's an even longer story, and not one that I want to get into. Suffice it to say that it started with killing the guy who inked me and ended in a pretty dark place. The upshot is that I can't go back to Japan. Ever. But at least I got my autonomy back. She pauses for a moment to light up another cigarette. After she fills her lungs with smoke, she continues. So, the moral of this story, I guess, is not to take an employer's word at face value. It's a lesson that every Shadowrunner needs to learn sooner or later, but I had a harder time with it than most.
And pretty much every human being.
Mm-hmm. Now, can we talk about something else? Or better yet, can we shut up and have a drink or two? All this yapping is making me thirsty. I gotta run. See you around. Yeah, see ya. Alexei Lane leans on his crutch while staring into the Berlin sky. Nothing moves above but gray clouds. His faraway look is only broken when you approach. Something I can do for you? Just checking in. I appreciate the effort you're making, but you've got some big shoes to fill around here. Monica was important to this place. You have no idea. But I imagine you soon will. Nothing stays secret for long in the F-state. The flux demands transparency. The truth will always get out. And the truth about Monica's death is now on the breeze, floating through the streets of Berlin. Next come visitors of uncertain intent. Some may just be bottom feeders sniffing after the leavings of the dead. Others will be hunters looking to exploit a leaderless tribe. We're all stepping up to fill the void left by Monica. The old troll rubs a thumb pensively across his single unbroken horn. You might have something there, if you can keep that group together. There are trying times ahead. Seen it before. Too many times before. Anything else you need? I want to hear more about the war. Lane grumbles and massages phantom pain in his synthetic legs. Damn it, why won't the world just let an old soldier fade away like MacArthur promised? Where did you serve? Back home with the Finnish Defense Force, Jaeger Brigade. Lane clenches and unclenches a fist, either out of repressed anger or more phantom pain. His weathered face betrays nothing. The Russians thought to come at us from the north as well as the west, through the Lapland, thinking us weaker there. They thought wrong, and the snow was painted pink on both sides of the border. Tell me more about the Euro Wars. I doubt there's much I could tell you that you wouldn't have learned in school. That you should have learned in school. Russians invaded, hell if I can remember why. World was more a mess back then than it is today, if you ask me. They attacked Poland and Finland first. Poland broke within months, opening the door into Germany. I had no contacts in Berlin back then, mind you. Can't really say how bad things were here. Had battles of my own to worry about. Sorry, I won't bother you any more about it. Thank you. Anything else then? Nothing, I'll be going. Hello again, mein Freund. What can I do for you? How's Alexander doing? He is adjusting with difficulty. Your friend Dietrich took a chance in sending his nephew to us. I will do my best to justify his faith in me. Is Silka doing any better? Nope, that's same for. I'd like to talk about your organization. Yes, of course, please go on. I don't have the money for donations right now. Hey, thanks for tuning in for a while. See you around. Welcome back. You need some weapons? Some ammunition, perhaps? Got your message about that missing shipment. How can I help? Aye. A gang from a nearby Keats has been hijacking shipments bound for the Kreutz Bazaar, taking money out of our pockets. I could use your help to stop this from happening. Your dear departed Monica used to provide encryption and information control for the Kreutz Bazaar. Now that she's gone, we merchants have been having no end of trouble. The obvious answer is that a gang has been intercepting our communications. What kind of communications? Shipping manifests, payment orders, that kind of thing. A group with an agenda could use that information to set an ambush, and that's just what this gang has been doing. Several cargo trucks full of goods have already been hijacked en route to the Kreutz Bazaar. I'm trying to find the voice that I want for him here. I don't know how audible the results are. I can feel the differences internally, but I don't know if they're actually... I don't know if the changes are noticeable or too subtle to be noticed. I had a tracking device placed on the last shipment that I sent out. Containers full of weapons and medical supplies. Sure enough, it got taken, and I've tracked it to Gesundbrunnen. If you've never been there, it's Keats built out of an old U-Bahn station and some old bunkers. Rumor has it a new gang called the Rabengeister is holed up there. I suspect that the two things are related. So, I need you to go to Gesundbrunnen, find the Rabengeister, and get our goods back. I can offer you 500 Nuyen for the task, and if you recover our missing weapons shipment, I'll be able to sell you some better hardware, too. Can you tell me anything else about this gang, the Rabengeister? Not much, I'm afraid. From what I've heard, the Rabengeister are tricky. They have a reputation for stirring up trouble, then disappearing without a trace. I would tread carefully in Gesundbrunnen if I were you. How do I get to Gesundbrunnen? Just take the U-Bahn. The line still runs, though not many folks stop at Gesundbrunnen anymore. The market there used to be something of a tourist attraction, but I think they've fallen on hard times recently. I'll take care of it. Good. It's about time I had some new inventory come in. And one more thing, VL. I'm gonna need you to go in light on this one. Take a friend along if you like, but no more than one. If you spook them, they could trash the merchandise. Best go quiet. Best go soon, too, before the trail goes cold. Go in light, huh? Where would you like to travel? Well, let's see here. If I can only take one person with me. I think it's probably going to be Iger. She is probably my deadliest ally right now. It is a short train ride to Gesundbrunnen. You exit the subway car, stepping onto the old grungy platform. The place is deserted, though signs of life are everywhere. A gaping hole in the ceiling filters cool, hazy light in from above. To your right, a small plot of crop struggles to endure in the cold and the limited light of the station. Trash and junk litters the platform. It is clear that this place hasn't had anything resembling a janitorial staff in quite some time. Somewhere in this old rundown U-Bahn station lies the entrance to Gesundbrunnen Kiez, and hopefully some leads on the whereabouts of the Rabengeister and Gunnari's missing shipment. And if you'll excuse me, I need to go record my life. I will be right back.
He's coming right back, Remy. No, I'm not going to let you out because he's coming right back. He's coming right back. He's coming right back. You stay there. You are coming right back, aren't you? Yeah. Okay.
He's coming back.
Remy's right there.
It's okay, Remy. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's coming. He's coming. Don't be a butt.
Oh. Sit you. Remy, shut up.
Goodness. That's a good boy.
No, now don't go in there. Don't go in there. Where did it? Oh, there it is. I met our new neighbors.
Yeah?
Uh-huh. Joseph and Madison.
Mm.
And they're both Tinker's Air Force, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're both Air Force.
Hmm.
And oh my goodness, I don't know if it's the military training
Mhm.
or whether, you know, being a small town girl, Madison's from Springtown, which is smaller than Weatherford. Yeah, I don't know which it was, but she kept calling me ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they both seem very nice.
How much? I only have 3 karma to spend. I can't do anything useful with that. The old fluorescent grow lights are barely keeping the plants alive. Almost no light from the surface makes it this far underground. The stairwell down looks to have completely collapsed. That's far enough, friend. An older man raises his hand, squinting as you approach. To his left, a young orc shifts his weight, resting one hand casually on a pistol at his hip. Both are dressed in what might be considered uniforms, but it is hard to tell for sure. We don't get many visitors down here these days, and you'll forgive me for saying, but well, you don't really look like the type that usually comes through here. He looks fed, for one thing. The older man snorts. Indeed. So what brings you to Gesundbrunnen, stranger?
Bless you.
I'm visiting from the Rheinrohr Megaplex, and my friend Hans said the market here is second to none. I had to come see for myself. The older man smiles sadly. Well, maybe a few years ago that was true. These days, well, it's hard times all around, I suppose. But you're welcome to go on in, of course. Customers are always welcome. Oh, and talk to Quarren if you want to hear some good stories about the market back in its prime. He's always happy to share a tale or two. The older man steps aside.
What are you doing, you funny bunny, you?
Watch your step on the ladder there. Some of the steps get slippery when it's cold. Thanks. Oops. The man before you is of average build and in nondescript dress. He's leaning against the old wooden cabinet, reading a book. As you approach, he looks up and casts a warm smile in your direction. Guten Tag. The name's Quarren, friend. I can't say I've seen you around these parts before. Just passing through, or... What can you tell me about this place? Gesundbrunnen? Well, it's my home, for one. And we've got a small bar set up over there. But, of course, you'll want to know about the market. It used to be something to behold, my friend. One of the grandest markets in the city. You could find nearly anything in these stalls for the right price. It's a real shame, but little by little things slowed down. Folks stopped taking this subway line so much. But I guess that's the way of the flux. Ever heard of a gang called the Rabengeister? Certainly, they've been spinning quite a tale in these parts of late. Hard to know anything for sure, though. One rumor says they hijack freight out of Frankfurt or Tor. Then the next day, you hear about a sighting down in Alexanderplatz. Hell, just yesterday I heard someone claim they saw a member of the Rabengeister speed by in the U-Bahn tunnel, clinging to the side of a train car. Ha! Between you and me, that's probably a gang called Surf Turf. Strange ones, those. I heard they implant suction cups to their hands and feet. I guess they really like hitching rides on the U-Bahn trains? He shakes his head with amusement. That's the flux state for you, though. Full of the strange and unexpected. Have you seen a shipment of weapons pass through here recently? His face falls. Wish that I had, friend. It's too bad. This place used to be soaring with commerce. But now, hardly anything passes through here, I'm afraid. Folks around here are lucky enough to have a full meal at the end of the day.
Did you see Zach beneath?
Yeah.
And he's
I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things turn around for the better soon. Yeah, me too. Thanks for the friendly words, though. Most folks that come through here are either looking to bum a quick handout or steal what they can before disappearing down the line.
white.
Can I do anything to help? No, I don't think so, friend. But I thank you for the gesture. The man squints at you. He looks thoughtful. Say, have you ever heard the story of Schinderhannes? I'm not sure. Schinderhannes was an outlaw centuries ago, back in the Napoleonic days. See, Schinderhannes was a thief, a greedy one, if you believe the stories. He and his gang raided up and down the Rhine, stealing for themselves. But something happened. The people of the Rhineland, they were inspired by Schinderhannes. In time,
I've never heard of a generous thief. Unless, maybe Robin Hood. But, a greedy thief isn't that kind of the way.
yeah?
Alright.
The people of the Rhineland, they were inspired by Schinderhannes. In time, they hailed him as a hero. He was stealing from the French, you see. I think something happened then. Something surprising, even to Schinderhannes. I think because of this, perhaps he became the hero the people wanted him to be. Maybe he did start stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. I don't know, the history books are confusing, to say the least. At any rate, the point is this, friend. I think that maybe, if enough people believe something to be true, it can change the truth of that thing. Perhaps if enough people here in Gesundbrunnen have a hope to believe in, then our fate will change as well. Until then, well, we continue on.
Enough people believe Fox News. They voted Donald Trump as the president. Believing in something is not always a good thing.
You seem like a pretty well-educated man. Why choose a life underground here in this place? Ah, fair question. Let's just say it was the best option at the time. At any rate, this is my home now, and I won't abandon it simply because it has grown somewhat older and poorer. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? I'll be going now. The drawers look to be handmade out of rusty sheet metal. Nothing of value catches your eye within. Nerps. The woman starts a little at your approach, but she recovers quickly and beams brightly at you. The fox face on her headdress seems to grin as well. Her classically nasal American accent is obvious. Hey, kiddo, share a drink with me? No thanks, just looking for information. Ever heard of a gang called the Rabengeister? The Raven Ghosts? Nope, never heard about anything like that. Sounds like something out of a fairy tale. I'm just traveling through. I heard there was a market, but, well, just look at this place. She waves her arm around in a wide circle, taking everything in from the sadly shimmying woman to the near-empty corridors outside. So, I'm just having a drink with this fine gentleman here and then moving on. Where are you from? California Free States. Doing the whole Europe tour thing, you know? Besides getting me out of that hellhole, it's been a real good learning experience. Had some good fun, made some good friends. She clatters the ice around in her drink. You can smell the cheap gin from where you stand. But it's a hellhole everywhere these days. Can't drink enough to forget some things I've seen. I'm all for communism and anarchy and free love, but sometimes the F-state goes a little far. How do you mean? It's just the things like the turf wars and the racists and junk. You know, those humanist assholes. Unpleasant. But that shit aside, I like the idea of a state without the man. Listen, my name's Goldfish. What's yours? Call me VL. Nice to meet you, Viel. Now that I've said my bit, what are you doing in a place like this? I just came here for the market, like you. At least there's alcohol. Synthahol, ma'am. Whatever it is, I'll drink more to it. She downs her glass and slams it on the bar with a loud exhalation. So, what was that thing you said? Robengeister? Robengeister. Raven ghosts might be anything in Gesundbrunnen. It seems like everyone and everything down here is a ghost. Ghosts of the past, ghost trains, ghostly thin folks pale for lack of sunlight. Like, speaking of sunlight, the sun's coming in a little strong now. There. It's hitting the carpet and making a really bright spot right in the corner of my vision. I need sunlight too. I like to joke I photosynthesize, but it just gives me so much energy. Energy these people don't have anymore. Her expression grows stern for a moment as she stares into her empty gin and tonic. Maybe I've been down here long enough. Maybe I'm a ghost too. Alright, that's it, Fraulein. You're officially cut off. Your total is 36 Nuyen. Can I at least buy something for my friend here? He's been talking with me a bit and hasn't had anything. No, you're cut off. I don't want you even sipping out of it. Dude, chill. Forget I asked. She turns to you with a shrug. Yeah, sorry I couldn't get you anything else, but thanks for being a pal. Anything else? It's all good, thanks. I'm just passing through. Garbage. Smells like something died in here. Upon closer inspection, it's just moldy soy cakes. Letter. Surface access has been welded shut, probably an attempt to keep security tight. Nope, can't go that way. Hello there, newcomer. I have many exciting and rare weapons for you to peruse. Instruments of death of the sort you'll not find anywhere else in Berlin. Care to take a look around? Despite the shopkeeper's claims, her inventory looks decidedly poor. Most of these weapons appear rusty and in ill repair. A particularly cobbled-together pistol stands out from the bunch. Sure, let's see what you have. 2,000 for that weird thing. Okay, surely there's something interesting about it, but... What's up with the shoddy-looking pistol? Exquisite, is it not? The work of a master craftsman who used to live here, forged some of the finest slug throwers you'll find this side of the Atlantic, and at that price, a steal! I'll be going now. This crate appears to have been pried hastily open. There is a partially torn shipping label on its side. Most of the ink is worn off, but the word Kreuzbazaar is still clearly visible.
Hi there, stranger. I've got a sale on today. You interested in some rations? Salvage? Some home remedies?
There's a crate behind your shop that looks like it was marked for delivery to the Kreuzbazaar. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
No, I don't know anything about crates.
Looking for some backup? It's just us here, friend.
Okay, look, yeah, the Rabbengeister came by yesterday. Asked me to move the rest of these medical supplies. Then they disappeared. I don't know where they went. I mean, hey, I gotta make a living, right? Look around here. They leave me this kind of score, I'm grateful. Already sold most of it in less than a day. Plenty of folks around here in need of real medical supplies. Alright, I've told you what I know, so we're cool, right? I don't know anything else.
Relax, I believe you. Times are tough. I'm sure these people needed that stuff.
You're not going to hurt me? Thank you, stranger. Not everyone's so understanding around here. Look, if you're looking for the Rabbengeister, try the old information kiosk on the other side of the market. I've seen some people coming and going through there.
The militia captain stands at alert, her eyes tracking slowly across the market before coming to rest on you. Guten Tag. You look like you keep a close eye on this, Keats. Have you seen a shipment of weapons pass through here recently? No, I would have noticed that. Looking for a gang called the Rabbengeister. Ever heard of them? No. And I wouldn't suggest asking questions about such things around here. These crates don't seem to be part of the shipment that was en route to the Kreutz Bazaar. The area is in extreme disrepair. Water is flooding out of the walls and stagnating in pools on the tile floor. You can smell the mildew from here. You notice a set of scuff marks on the ground, as if something heavy was dragged across here. The marks vanish into the wall. You find a small seam in the wall that suggests there might be a passageway hidden in the wall here, but you can spot no clear mechanism for opening it. Maybe we should ask around. This looks like the place, so I'm sure someone might spill the beans. This appears to be an old U-Bahn information terminal. Judging by the system's design and current condition, it is quite old. As you approach, the machine makes a series of sputtering sounds as the dust-covered screen flickers dimly to light. Time since last update, 52:07:11:05:22. Error, primary database not found, restarting in offline mode. Restarting. The screen goes dark as the machine begins to emit a bizarre variety of clicking and chirping sounds. After an interminable amount of time, the screen finally shudders back to life. Welcome to Gesundbrunnen Station. Please select an option from the menu below. Data corrupted. Data corrupted. Station history. Route information. Data corrupted. Enter custom query. You have selected Station history. Gesundbrunnen Station opened on April 18, 1930 as the final stop along the U-Bahn's U8 line. It was designed by prominent U-Bahn architect Alfred Grenander. Construction on the U8 line began in 1914 under Allgemeine Elektrizitätsgesellschaft. Elektrizitätsgesellschaft, but labor shortages and the First World War put the project on hold for over a decade. The eventual completion and opening of this home line between Neukölln and Gesundbrunnen in 1930 represented a major step forward in connecting Berlin's working-class districts to the city center. During World War II, many unfinished tunnels and stations along the U8 line were converted into air raid shelters, including parts of Gesundbrunnen Station. In the decades following the war, the station also served as an emergency fallout shelter in the event of a nuclear attack. During the Cold War, the U8 line continued to run between Neukölln and Gesundbrunnen, taking it under the wall and through parts of East Berlin. The train would skip all East Berlin stations until it emerged on the far side near Gesundbrunnen. Today, the U8 line continues to operate, carrying thousands of passengers through Gesundbrunnen station on a daily basis. In addition, the former bunker at this location has been transformed into a popular museum exhibit showcasing the history and development of Berlin's underworld. Please inquire at the information kiosk for current museum rates and hours of admittance. You start to press the 4 key, only to realize that the key is missing from the keyboard. A thick layer of grime and dust rests in its place. Please enter your custom query string now. The system will attempt to match your query against a database of frequently asked questions for our valued station guests. Is that what that says there? Zuflucht? Okay, there's a password somewhere. Say, what's up with those scuff marks on the ground over there by that information kiosk? I wouldn't know. I'm not in charge of the cleaning around here. Hell, nobody is these days, the way things have been going. Hopefully our luck will turn sooner or later. It'd be nice to take some pride in this place again. Changing the subject, are we? I know you're hiding something back there. She stiffens, then suddenly her rifle is leveled at your chest. Fine. I don't know who you are or what you're doing snooping around here, but you'd better come with me now. Our leader's going to want to speak with you. Her free hand reaches down to produce a thick leather blindfold. Whose leader? Come on, of the Rabengeister. It's clear you know that much by now. And what makes you think I'll come along? Her rifle remains steady. Look, I don't want to do this any more than you do, but we're not going to let you keep sniffing around here. If you come with me, I guarantee nobody's going to stab you in the back. I'll bring you safely to see the Rabengeister. Very well, I'll go. That's a smart decision. She reaches out to blindfold you, and the world goes dark. This is the same man you met in the market, but the friendliness is gone from his face. In its place is a cold, unwavering gaze. You should have stuck to the market, stranger. If the Rabengeister wished to be found, we'd open a effing cafe. Now what do you want of us? Say your piece. Wait, I just saw you upstairs and I didn't see you on the way down. You think a gang like us, we've only got one secret passage? There's all kinds of fun hidden passages down here. This place is over 100 years old, you know. During the Second World War, they converted this part of the station into an air raid shelter. Made it nice and secure in case anyone spotted bombers over the city. Quarren appears more relaxed, his tone more friendly. He seems to enjoy relating the history of this place. Continue listening. Then, during the Cold War, they designated this whole station an emergency fallout shelter. You know, in case the Russians and the Americans decided to blow each other up. This was back when Berlin was divided in two, of course. Things got better for a while after that. Hell, a few decades ago, before the Awakening, I hear they used to give tours. This isn't a tour, I'm afraid. So, you're from the Kreutz Bazaar, and you're here to get your stolen shipment back. That about right? That's about right, yeah. Which I completely understand, stranger, believe me. But unfortunately, we need those supplies more than you do, so I will have to graciously decline your offer to relieve us of your property. I can see things are hard around here, Quarren, but I have to look out for my own keats, and that shipment belongs to us. Not from where I'm standing. Look, there's no need for bloodshed. I'll tell you what. It seems like you know what it's like to look out for a keats like this. It's not easy, right? We provide for these people. A haul like that shipment keeps Gesundbrunnen from going hungry just a little while longer. It's our home. These are our people. I suspect you feel the same about the Kreutz Bazaar. So, I'm prepared to let you leave, just like that, knowing our little secret here and everything. In return, all you need to do is walk away. Just walk away and forget this ever happened. Quarren smiles. What do you think, stranger? I think in the flux, folks like us need to stick together. Why stay strangers? Maybe we can come to an arrangement that can benefit both of our Keetsa. Quarren raises an eyebrow. I'm listening. You return our supplies. We send you a shipment of extra rations in exchange. We agree to a truce of sorts. I see. That's an interesting offer, friend. The rations alone probably don't match the price of the weapons, but, well, food is in short supply around here. And this alliance, what do you propose? We agree to stay out of each other's way, and maybe we find opportunities to help each other out in the future. He pauses for a long moment, then cracks a smile. Very well. I suppose that's worth the price of a crate of guns. Your medical supplies are already mostly gone, I'm afraid. But the weapons shipment is still being held in a locker at Frankfurter Tor. I'll have it sent back to the Kreutz Bazaar immediately. And you'll deliver those rations? Take the tunnel to the Kreutz Bazaar and talk to Paul Amsel. He runs an import-export shop not far from the U-Bahn station. Tell him I sent you and he'll take care of the rest. Well, well. Quarren looks thoughtful. Maybe things are looking up around here. I suppose friends and enemies can be found. I suppose friends and enemies both can be found in strange ways here in the Flux. Glad we could have this talk, Quarren. I'll be going now. You can see yourself out. Take care, stranger. Cool. Achievement unlocked. Doesn't have to be this way. They're all... just full of old Simpsons recordings. Hey, want a beer? Nah, I'm good. Okay, maybe I do. Sure, I'll take one. He hands you an icy beer from the crate. Drink the beer. Mission item added. Cold one. Mission item removed. Cold one. Because a one that is not cold is scarcely a one at all. That's an old-fashioned safe right there. me see what you've got for sale. Let's see you around. You emerge from the U-Bahn station and out onto the familiar streets of the Kreuzbazaar. The energy here is a stark contrast to the weary, slowly drowning mood of Gesundbrunnen. The Kreuzberg is an island of hope. Kreuzberg? I think, afloat still amidst the dangerous currents of the flux state. But it wouldn't take much for it to capsize. It's time to find Gunnari and tell him the news.
Welcome back. You need some weapons, some ammunition, perhaps?
I took care of that business with the Rabbengeister. They won't be hijacking our shipments anymore. A faint smile plays across the normally taciturn merchant's face.
Yes, this much I know already. The missing shipment arrived just before you did, though I barely caught a glimpse of who delivered it. How were you able to manage that?
I made an arrangement with their leader and they agreed to return the weapons.
And you've accomplished all this through diplomacy? Interesting. It is... well, it is not what I would have done, but perhaps that is for the best. Here is your payment, as promised. And, should you need any new weapons, thanks to you, I have some new merchandise available. Would you like to take a look?
Sure, let's see what you've got. Probably nothing that I can use. But that's okay.
Axe? Hand-forged katana.
All right. What does Iger get next? Interdiction shot. Fires a discarding Sabot HTI round that ignores armor completely. Shotgun ability that sets targets on fire and strips 1 armor, ongoing damage 4. That's kind of neat, but ignoring armor completely sounds nice. Ooh, that's nice. That's kind of cool, but kind of limited as well. Being able to tear off armor, though, up to 4 per attack. Very nice. I have 7 karma, which might be enough to get a thing. I can boost spirit control by another point. Confirm. And it's about 5:45. I think this is a good time to end for the day. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll be back tomorrow at about 3 p.m. Eastern to continue this. Let's see, well, there was one other job, I think, that I had picked up. That's right, there was someone in the cafe, so I will go check them out next time and find out what their deal is. So, thanks again, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Come on. There we are. Later.